For some countries, reaching the World Cup takes decades, sometimes generations. In 2026, four nations finally made it: Haiti, Iran, Ivory Coast, and Senegal. And then they were told, your fans aren't welcome. This is the story of the World Cup that qualified the world and then locked much of it out. To understand why this cuts so deep, you have to understand what qualifying means. For Haiti, it had been 52 years. Their last World Cup was in 1974. A nation that has endured earthquakes, poverty, and political collapse, finally back on the world's biggest stage. For Iran, football is national pride, one of the few things that unites a divided country. For millions of fans, this was meant to be the trip of a lifetime. But there was a problem. The United States is co-hosting this World Cup. And under a travel ban covering 39 countries, several qualified nations were on the list. Haiti and Iran faced full entry bans. Ivory Coast and Senegal, partial restrictions. The players were mostly exempt. FIFA made sure the teams could take the field. But the fans were on their own. FIFA even revoked Iran's ticket allocation. Thousands of seats meant for Iranian supporters, gone. 15 Iranian officials were denied visas, including the head of the country's football federation. Think about what that means for an ordinary fan. You save for years. You watch your team fight through qualifying. And then a passport you never chose decides whether you can go. For some African nations, there's a new barrier, a visa bond of up to $15,000 just to visit. Rejection rates climbed. Wait times stretched into months. Even a top international referee was turned away. His Somali passport put him on the ban list. These aren't security threats. They're football fans. You earn your place on the world stage, and then you're locked out of the stands. Here's where it gets strange. This World Cup isn't only in the United States. It's co-hosted by Canada and Mexico, and the ban doesn't apply there. So the same fan, blocked from a match in Los Angeles, could watch one in Toronto or Mexico City. One tournament, 3 countries, 2 very different welcomes. And this isn't the first time politics has stepped onto the pitch. Sport has always been a stage for power. Boycotts, protests, nations using the games to shape their image. This time, 20 European football federations even discussed a boycott before backing down. The World Cup sells itself on a simple promise. For 1 month, the world comes together. But in 2026, the world qualified and then learned that coming together had conditions. The players will still play. The games will still be beautiful. But for millions who dreamed of being there, the closest they'll get is a screen. And that tells us something about the world we live in right now. Where you're born still decides where you're allowed to go. This is TerraConscious, understanding what's happening around us and why it matters. If this opened your eyes, subscribe. There's a lot more we need to talk about.